What's up, rockers? Welcome to the first episode of For the Record with Kaz and Shea. I'm Shea.
And I'm Kaz.
And this is our first episode. We're super excited. We've been talking about doing this for a while. Some of you know me. Some of you know Brian. Some of you know us together. But we really want to talk about what set us off on this incredible 11-year journey. Over 300 shows. Can you believe it?
350?
I lost track. I used to have, 2013, I started keeping track on an Excel spreadsheet, and I would write the date, the show, the venue, if we bought a tour poster. I used to have that, but I lost it during the pandemic. I need to find that.
Yeah, we're going to state right off the bat here that we are not professionals at this type of stuff, but our good friends Kelsie and Mark are doing their best to try to make us look professional at this.
I mean, look at this. We got microphones. This is like some sort of board. Is it
it's a sound board? Yeah.
Board?
Mixing board.
Mixing board. Yeah. And lights.
Lights.
And this is a lot more than we expected when we talked about doing this for so long. So we're so excited for that. We're really excited for you. I mean, this is probably a little bit of a life-changing moment for us, but I can't imagine what it must be for them.
Hopefully. The one things are not professionals at this, but we are passionate about everything that has to do with music in every way, whether it's books we've read about music, albums that we've bought, shows we've gone to, posters, shirts, you name it. Everything that has to do with music, we love. And that's what we are going to do for you guys, is share all those experiences that we have had, starting way back in 1978, I think. Yeah. Lydia Hawk, kindergarten.
Lydia Hawk, who was your teacher? I had Mrs. Darko.
So did I.
And were you on the afternoon?
I was in the afternoon.
Oh, we used to ride the bus home with the big kids.
We did.
Oh, that was cool. My brother was like in 4th or 5th grade. I remember riding home with him, and he'd be in the back singing songs. What was our principal? Mr. Whitney.
Whitney?
I remember the last day of school. Everyone was like, no more Whitney, no more Whitney. Yeah. So.
Well, then Evergreen Forest opened up, and then you and I got to ride the same bus. Bus 158.
I never rode the bus to Evergreen Forest, so we got to clarify that, because I lived right by the school in Lake Forest.
Oh, you're right. That's when we went to middle school. We had to take the bus.
School.
Oh, okay.
So what we're kind of getting to is we've been friends for so long. Tell them the story about us listening to music on the middle school bus.
That's what we would do. We would be at the bus stop with our tape recorder, and we'd bring different cassettes every day, ranging from Judas Priest to Ozzy Osbourne.
Van Halen for me was a big one.
AC/DC.
Sure.
It was all rock infused.
Yeah.
With a little tape recorder. And then John and I would be the ones sitting in the back of the bus with the platform, playing the music for everybody. For
like a few moments, I felt like a cool kid. It didn't last into like 8th or 9th grade, but being a cool rock guy.
But for the time being.
Yeah. And we've liked music. We've liked each other. This guy is one of the sweetest guys ever. I mean, I wish I could hug you right now and it not be weird.
We were Boy Scouts. Your mom.
Boy Scout, my mom. Yeah.
She was our den mother.
Like, if we're really cool, we could probably insert a picture like right here, and you'd see us with my mom.
Nowadays, what makes the soccer mom cool,
Well, keep it clean, Brian. This is a family show.
All right.
Yeah, so, all through high school we're friends, and then, things happen. You kind of go your separate ways, and you start doing new things. And, I sort of lost all my friends when I got my first serious girlfriend. You just sort of, stop seeing everyone. And I'd see you occasionally. I remember being here for our 10-year high school reunion. Remember that?
Yeah.
Had cocktails right over there. But our relationship really started taking off is when you started working at Tumwater Safeway. When did that happen?
Oh, about 2008.
Yeah. So do you think everybody out there in the viewing world knows what Safeway is? Do they have Safeways all over
No.
Kroger?
And I keep that on the down low, too.
Oh, yeah. Brian has been, have you been a produce guy the whole time?
Pretty much. Yeah. 34 years.
How about that?
And I just stay there for the benefits.
Yeah. And the good produce.
No.
I mean...
Wait. Why are we talking about this? We got to get back on track.
I know, but we just want to fill in...
Okay.
People are like, how did these guys meet? How did they, develop this loving rock and roll relationship? This is it. So when we started to run into each other at Tumwater Safeway, I was working real close, and I would come in and grab my lunch, and I would see Brian, and we'd always talk about music, and Brian would always say, hey, let's go to this show. I remember like a Tesla show. Give me some more. I swear, no offense to
it was probably the casino circuits back then.
For sure.
I figured that'd be the best thing to bring John to a casino circuit show.
And so nothing really jumped out at me, which is kind of a shame because we could have started this thing a couple years early, but it never piqued my interest until early in 2011. I'm like, Kaz, my favorite band is Queens of the Stone Age. They're coming. Let's go see them. Not thinking anything about getting special access. I just wanted to go to a show with you. And so what did you say when I said, let's go to Queens of the Stone Age?
No, I said, man, I can get the hookup for that one. Because back then I had been touring with bands like the Super Suckers, and Throw Rag was one of the support acts for them. And over time met Sean Wheeler. And at one point, back when Mark Lanigan was playing with Queens of the Stone Age, Sean became good friends with those guys as their opening act. And so I gave Sean a call.
Yeah. Don't they call Sean Wheeler the desert legend?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all Queens of the Stone Age, all these bands come out of Palm Desert, if you didn't know. And so there's an incredible music scene. And so through Brian's connection to Sean, what I thought just got us free tickets. So I thought, that's pretty cool. Free tickets to go to a show to see my favorite band. But little did I know, what else did you secure for this?
Well, I actually lucked out for some reason. I don't know why they picked me, but they gave me the entire show photo pass for the entire set. Usually a band just gets to shoot the first 3 songs, no flash, on a show that size and magnitude. I got to shoot the whole show, and those were the brightest lights still to this day that I ever shot.
I can remember them, really purpley. Like, I feel like it was...
It was bright.
Yeah.
It was bright.
So we go to the show. So Brian and I, now when we go to a show, we have a whole routine. We're going to hit our favorite record store. We're going to hit a bar that we like. And then we'll go to the show. And we might hook up with people along the way. But we had no routine then. So
no, this was our first go at it.
We just went to the show. I don't remember anything about the drive up. I don't remember whatever. But we got there. And I think it was that point when we walked in that you said, hey, we've got backstage passes. Right? Total surprise to me. Shock of a lifetime.
Right.
I hadn't been to a concert for about 10 or 11 years. When I started having kids, I kind of shut down and became like super dad, and I didn't really do much. So I hadn't been to a concert for so long. So here I am going to my first concert. It's my favorite band. Not only are we getting free tickets, but we're going backstage. And I sort of, for a moment or two, sort of lost it. Like, how am I going to do this? This is like incredible. I'd never been backstage with a band before.
And I remember telling you too. I was like, John, okay, backstage. I just want you to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah,
don't start grabbing the beers out of the fridge.
And don't talk. You said, don't talk. Don't you say a word. Don't you open that mouth. And I didn't listen to you, and it turned out pretty great.
Well, it kind of started with Jack and Dino, kind of walking backstage and you seeing him and kind of mumbling those 3 bands to him.
Yeah, I'm like, Jack and Dino, right? And I didn't know what to say, but I'm like, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Mudhoney, and he's like, yep, and kind of just, I didn't say blew me off, but he's like, yeah, that's me.
He just kind of patted John at the back, said, good job,
Yeah.
good job, you're doing good, just kind of keep that to a minimum.
Yeah, do you remember the opening band that night?
I don't know, I don't think, I was really paying attention.
Yeah, it was Les Butcherettes, I believe, Les Butcherettes, and I remember them, they were kind of rocking, but I was just like, I can't listen to this. I gotta use all my brain power to think about Queens of the Stone Age.
Right. And at this point for me too, this was like my first kind of big, as a photographer, a big show.
Yeah. So this, in our own special ways, was the highlight of our concert going careers at that point. And we're sort of experiencing this together, but sort of from different sides.
Right.
And I remember, you're like, okay, Queens of the Stone Age is about to go on. I'm going down to the pit. And maybe I thought you were just going to be shooting from, standing right next to me or something, but I'm all alone. Not that I was, I'm a big boy. I can handle being alone, but like, where do I stand? What's the best place to shoot this or view this show? And you were gone in the pit for the entire show. And so what was it like to shoot that show?
Oh, it was so hot down there because the lights that they were using were just insane. Yeah. But it made for really cool photos, and along the way, we will have those for you to see. It's kind of like one of my early times of shooting a concert.
Yeah,
you know?
So this was a really cool and kind of special show because Queens of the Stone Age were touring their 15-year anniversary of this album right there, their debut album. This is just amazing artwork, and if we have to blur out the boobies, we will.
No.
But they played this in its entirety, front to back, and it was just so incredible. I think I had my mouth open the whole time, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm watching this. It was just so great. Remember they played the night before at the Gorge with Soundgarden.
Right.
So for them to go to Showbox, it wasn't even, there was only one Showbox then. So Showbox Soda wasn't a thing yet. So it was at the show.
At the market on First Ave. Correct.
And so I'm sitting there watching this show. It's the very first show I'd ever attended with a smartphone, right? It had been so long. Maybe I had a phone of some sort at my previous show, but I'm trying to take pictures with this crappy Android phone, and I don't know you're not supposed to have the flash on. So I'd be getting ready to take the picture, and the flash would just be on, and the security would just be shining their flash on me, like, hey, stop that crap. And so I was so embarrassed. None of the photos turned out, but the show was so good. And so they finished this album, and then they did something that I haven't seen another band before. And I don't know if you remember this, but they turned up the house lights, and they're like, we're going to take requests for the rest of the night. Do you remember that?
Yeah, rest of the show took requests.
They would go, what do you want to hear? And they would, choose a song, and then Queens of the Stone Age would play it. So, they played the first album in entirety. I think they had 4 other albums at that point. So probably 50 or 60 songs for people to choose from. And they nailed every song, was just played with precision. And the 2 songs that I remember were, first they played In the Fade, a Lanigan song off Rated R. You remember Josh is like, I don't sing this song, right? And then he's like, well, let me suck a cigarette so I can make my voice more like Lanigan, right?
Right.
And then he's like, Mark Lanigan, he's the scariest guy I love. Like, Lanigan's big, he's kind of
That
grumpy.
story holds true for a lot of people.
Yeah, and,
Mark.
Rest in peace, Mark. We all miss you. And then he played You Think I Ain't Worth a Dollar, But I Feel Like a Millionaire.
And that's a Nick Oliveri.
Nick Oliveri off Songs for the Deaf. And I was just so out of my mind. At that point, I'd never heard Nick say it. So they just go into this song. I'm like, this song sounds so good. And I couldn't place it. And it was only like after the show, I was like, oh, that's Millionaire. So the show was incredible, like just amazing. That band is so tight. They're so good. And so the show finished, and we're just hanging out. The crowd clears, and we're just standing off to the side with the other people that are going backstage, only like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And so Josh walks out, and he's like, all right, don't be a dick, and come on back. And so we walk back, and we're backstage in a pretty small room, not much bigger than your dining room. By the way, we're coming to you from Kaz's dining room. I guess you do really think that dining rooms are a waste of space.
They are. They are. You eat on your couch.
Yeah, you've got these great racks of records. Did Kelly Rigg make those for you?
Kelly Rigg.
Yeah, that's
Olympia's
awesome.
finest blacksmith.
Yes. You got your turntable. You got the picture of Phil back there.
Yeah, some people have Jesus. I always have Phil in it because he's like a god to me.
He's like a god to a lot of people. Jeez, wouldn't it have been fun to see a Thin Lizzy show? Yeah, like
if our parents would have thought of us like 5 years earlier.
I think my parents took my brother to Barry Manilow, maybe Frank Sinatra. They didn't take me to a show.
Right.
What was your first show?
Well, it's kind of cool. So yeah, since we're talking about my first show, San Diego Zoo, Roy Orbison.
Roy Orbison. Yeah. Did you know all his tunes at that time?
Kind of like Pretty Woman, and that was it. I was little. I was like, I want to say 8 or 9.
Yeah. Well, that for a first show, Roy
and then
Orbison's
there was the
great.
first proper like rock show.
Motley Crue.
No, actually, it was KISW Rising Star Show number 2.
Alice in Chains.
No, Rat opened up for Bon Jovi.
Oh my gosh. Rat.
But then right after that, the next one, it was proper. It was Judas Priest.
Okay.
So
yeah, all great bands. So let's get back on track. We're walking backstage Is there something you wanted to say? I don't want to
No,
interrupt you.
no.
This is a community show. It's about you and I. I don't want to take over. I talk a lot.
I'm just here retracing your steps and kind of chuckling about your conversations back there.
Yeah. So I remember walking backstage and like, okay, what do we do now? And we walked right in, and there's a little sidebar with a couple bottles of tequila.
And just pineapple juice, maybe?
No, it was grapefruit juice.
Grapefruit
I
juice.
think that was my first Paloma. Those were we were making Palomas. So we're drinking, and we're sort of in the middle, and there's another couple that is sort of lost like us. And so we start talking to them, and pretty soon Troy Van Leeuwen came over.
Right.
Troy Van Leeuwen, I'm here to say, he's one of the nicest guys in rock and roll. Not only is he one of the best finely dressed guy, maybe I should throw up some pictures of him in his beautiful suits.
Right.
But he was just the nicest guy. We talked about him. He's like, oh, where are you guys from? And we're like, we're from Olympia. And he's like, I played there before with my band Failure. Do you remember that?
Right. And then the girl standing next to us looks at him. She's like, band Failure. How'd that work out?
Yeah. Some people don't know how to act backstage.
Bad etiquette.
So, and then I just, that Fantastic Planet album by Failure is an album that I love. It was on my iPod at the time, and I would play it all the time. And I'm like, man, I love that album. I love the song Saturday Saver and Suck on You. Not Suck on You. That would be a great song.
Well,
Suck on You.
That's going to come up here in a minute.
Oh, that's right. That's a precursor. That's called foreshadowing.
Right. You're already thinking about the next part of the story.
I can't stop thinking about the next part of the story. So, anyways, we talked to Troy. That's really great. Joey Castillo's backstage. Joey Castillo.
Fucking best drummer.
Wait, that's the first curse word. Should we curse?
But it was
Kelsie
about
and
Joey.
Mark, are we cursing on the show? Yes to the curses?
But if it's someone like Joey Castillo, I think that you're allowed to.
Yeah, so first time seeing him, he was so cool. And then Mikey Schumann was playing bass for them, said hi to him. I love Mikey Schumann. His band, Mini Mansions, is awesome. We've seen them before. They're great. So we're just sitting around, and I'm like, well, I think it would be really cool to get a pic with Josh. This guy is my hero, as I mentioned, my favorite band. So I want to go over and talk to him. So I went over and talked to him. Well, first of all, he came around us when we were talking to Troy. What did he say to you?
Oh, well, I had my camera on my shoulder, and he's a pretty big dude. He's kind of intimidating.
Yeah, I mean,
but he looks at me, just kind of looks me up and down.
Picture us, but just like 4 inches taller and a lot skinnier and a lot more kind of muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think anybody's intimidated
So
by us?
No.
No. Okay.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and so he's intimidating. He's got, he can have his difficult moments. But, I had been nervous the whole time before the show. I mean, this is a really exciting moment. But once we got backstage, once we talked to Troy, I totally relaxed. And so I'm just going to go talk to him. So I went over to him, and he was sitting in a chair surrounded by girls, and there was a girl sitting on his lap. And I'm like, hey, Josh, can I get next? Ha, funny. And he's like, take off your pants, big boy. So my first conversation with my hero, he's telling me to take off my pants. I have a feeling that this is going to be a fun, relationship. We're off to a good start. And so we kind of moved away, and then he came back around to us. You remember that?
Yeah, and he looks at me, and he just sits there, looks me up and down. He's like, so that's a big camera you got. I'm like, okay. Is this a trick question?
I don't know. Are you not allowed to have a big camera like that backstage?
I'm just thinking, what do I reply to this guy?
And do you remember what you said?
Just kind of think I just kind of mumbled, blah, blah.
Yeah. That's a pretty typical Kaz response. Only, on our right.
With a nod. Yeah. I kind of nodded too.
Yeah. So one thing I didn't mention, when I found out we got backstage passes, I texted my friend. I think it was Brian Bros. I texted him, like, I can't believe I'm going backstage. I'm going to meet Josh Homme. He's my hero. I'm so excited. If he asks me to do a sex act on him, I will. I'm just being funny. Send it off to him. And then Josh came back around, and we just start talking. And I'm like, Josh, I love you. I love Caius. I love Queens of Stone Age. This is a really exciting moment. Look what I texted my friend. And I showed him the text that I'd sent to Brian. And he laughed. He's like, I got a deal. We'll do a 68. You do me, and I'll owe you one. I thought that was pretty funny. Do I need to say that again? Do people understand what's going on? But it was like, wow, I don't even know what he's going to say to me. And we have this kind of fun, off-the-cuff conversation.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm just like, okay, all the things about John, just don't say anything back. I'm like, just ride with it, have fun, just go. Say what you want from here on out.
Yeah, and so this has sort of started how I treat musicians. You know, talking to Troy, I'm like, this is just a regular guy. He happens to be a world-class musician, plays in a huge band, but he's just a guy. So all the time since then that I've gone backstage, you know, I'm just really relaxed. I'm happy to talk to anybody, and I will say whatever to anybody. So I like that. You know?
Right. And I mean, they have a talent that we don't have. They're good at their craft, but hey, we're passionate about what they do. So
we are passionate.
You know,
very passionate.
And
yeah, and then it was sort of at the end of the night, and everyone starts leaving, and I realize I'm sitting here with Brian. He's got this big camera. I haven't got my Josh pick.
My big camera.
Big camera. And so he leaves, and I sort of chase him out. I'm like, hey, Josh. And I don't know why he turned around. I'm like, he probably hears, hey, Josh, everywhere he walks. But he turned around, and he posed for a picture of me, or with me. And so I've got a picture of me and Josh Homme, and it's the worst picture I've ever looked when I'm standing next to a musician. My outfit was terrible. My face is all fat and bloated, but I got that picture. And that's the end of the show. We walked out. Remember, he was signing autographs outside. Yeah. And then we were like following him the whole way because we parked in the same parking lot. I think that he wanted to,
right.
He thought we were stalking him or something. But we get to the parking lot. We go our separate ways. And that was the end of the show and end of the night. We drove home. I don't know what we did. Maybe we get Dick's Burgers.
Now it's Dick's Burgers.
Whenever we go to Seattle on the way home, we get Dick's.
On the way up, it's Slim's Last Chance Saloon, or visit our good friend Hefe, who we're probably going to have an episode on.
Oh, yeah.
One of the premier Seattle bartenders.
Yeah, we'll have that. We should do an episode on Slim's. Slim's is such a great bar with a great venue.
That's on our list. We have a lot of things on our list, and like I say, it's going to vary from a lot of different subjects that are kind of encompassed in the whole music thing with us. We're going to have some guests. First off, you're going to hear like the intro music was by our good friend Zeke. Mm-hmm. And our outro guitar riff is supplied by a blind Marky Felchtone, one of the best guitarists in the world.
We better clear that with them. You think they'll just let us?
Yeah.
Okay. But I want to talk a little bit about why I think that our relationship worked. Okay?
Okay.
So that first show, I think we're both on the edge of 40, right?
Right.
So, like I said, when I had my kids, I didn't really do anything. So I was at a point, my kids are getting older, I'm ready to get back out there. And what I see from your side is you still want to go to shows and other people aren't going to shows. And so we matched up so well. And so we just started seeing shows. It was like the rest of that year, it was 5 or 6, and then the next year it'd be 10. The next year would be 20, and I think one year we did as many as 50.
Yeah,
so
we did.
we're over we're over, you know, between 350 shows together in 11 years. That's just incredible, and we just have.
Who here has that calculator to figure that in their head? What would that average be about?
It'd be right around 30 a year. Yeah, and we always have the best time together. We're kind of like. We do our own thing, but we're like mirror images when it comes to rock and roll. We click.
Yes.
We should come up with a special on-camera handshake to show how much we click. Yeah. Throw it out or something.
We don't have that yet, but
it's coming soon.
So we're going to have stories about some of the cool shows we've done, like just our weekend, or actually our one day filming the video for Brandy Carlisle, then running out to do Record Store Day with the rehearsals with the Sonics and the guys from Soundgarden.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of
all these experiences,
these great moments we have together. We're going to talk about other things that we like, and so we hope there's an audience for it. This is really something we've been talking about for a long time. What can we do? What can we do? And it was when we were in Denver after we went to Punk and Drublic, and the night after we went to Red Rocks, where we're only going to get like 3 nights sleep at the airport. I couldn't sleep. And the whole time I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a YouTube channel. And I was just jotting down ideas. I was so excited I couldn't sleep. So do you remember I had a TV show on TCTV, the local cable access channel in Olympia, like in 1991 with my brother.
Right.
You know, I always wanted to do something like that. But really comedy, I love comedy. I love all things funny. But this I'm so much more passionate about.
Right.
You are too. And so
yes.
I just think that we will have a never-ending supply of ideas, not only that we can shoot anytime, but then for all these bands that are coming into town, Brian's got lots of opportunities to do photo shoots for bands, so.
Yep. So,
Okay.
we just got informed by
Are you our director, Kelsie?
our director, Kelsie, that we are going to wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Okay, wait, let's read this. No need to wrap up. Just need to change cards. Okay.
Oh.
That's all new to
well,
us.
we're kind of,
Yes.
Like I said, we're not pros about this, so we're going to have little bumps on the way, but we don't care.
Yeah, so like I said, this is more than we expected. We thought we were just doing this on an iPhone.
This is why we have the brains helping us out.
Yeah. So is it a beauty brain situation?
I think it is.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you can only put so much perfume on a pig, right?
That's true.
And they make us look good.
But I think that kind of
they're amazing.
You think this wraps it up? Anything else you want to say?
I think this wraps it up.
Yeah. So we hope this finds an audience. And if you like, you guys are following our Facebook page, but this is a YouTube video. I've wanted to say this my entire life. Don't they have to like and subscribe our YouTube channel, right?
Right.
And so we really want to thank, Kelsie. Can we say your last name or you just want to be Kelsie? Kelsie Caple, our friend who's going to be doing some video editing for us stuff. Mark Zarate, Handsome Devil's over there. He is a genius with sound and fashion. I wish you'd come on and show us your outfit today. It's stunning. Is it a fuchsia? It's pink. It's really nice. Anyhow, but we hope this finds an audience. And,
and like I say, we've just been really fortunate to have so many great friends in the music industry that have allowed us to kind of reach this point where we're going to start this thing, So many to thank, and we're going to thank them all throughout the episodes.
Everyone gets a thank. And
it will happen.
Should we set some sort of goal to hug all of our friends?
Oh, we do that all the time.
Yeah, everyone that watches this is going to get a hug. We're huggers. Yeah, if you want a little more, let us know, right?
Exactly.
Little kiss, little smooch, pooch. So I think that's it. Let's wrap this up.
Okay.
So this has been For the Record. I'm Shea.
I'm Kaz.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.